Now, oftentimes in EDC videos, we're talking about really cool stuff. We're talking about knives, tools, all kinds of little fidget toys, and things that kind of excite you in your EDC and you look forward to using them. What we don't often talk about is the non-sexy things like carrying your lunch. But I still think they're important. I mean, everyone needs to eat, don't they? So today we're talking about two different lunch bags in two different sizes from Orbitkey. I have the Insulated Lunch Bag Mini, that's a 5-liter lunch bag, and I have the Insulated Lunch Bag Plus, that's an 8-liter lunch bag. The smaller one's in orange, the bigger one's in black, and they both have a set of features and a little bit of volume to carry your lunch effectively. And then as an added bonus, I also picked up the Orbitkey clip-on sunglasses pouch, so we can talk about that a little bit as well. Then to give you an idea of how it loads out into your EDC bag, I picked one of my favorite EDC bags. This is the Bellroy Light Day Pack, and we'll see how each of these fits inside when they're fully loaded out. So we can start with the larger 8-liter size. As you can see, it has kind of a roll top design. There's a nice little metal hook, one of those Orbitkey anodized metal hooks. They're super nice. Their little metal hardware is always so great. And that allows you to close the bag. And depending on how you have this loaded out, you have a little bit of a ladder system on the front made of nylon. So if you don't have much lunch or you're not bringing a lot of stuff or you want to make it more packable, you can use this bottommost loop to close it down really tight. Or if you have it loaded out, you can use the topmost loop, which is what I have right now. There's a water bottle pocket on the side. There's a little internal silverware pouch on the inside of the compartment. And then the back side has a little zipper compartment where you can store some extra stuff. And then there's an attached carry handle here that's adjustable, and it has metal attachment and adjustment points. So it's an overall really nice strap. It's decently wide so that it won't dig into your shoulder. And if this was the only bag you were carrying as like a sling, you could easily do that, or shoulder carry it, hand carry it, whatever you want. The only thing I will note is that this strap is non-removable. So if you're oftentimes carrying this in a messenger bag or a backpack, John from Unpacked alerted me to this because when he brings stuff to work every day, he carries it in a backpack. So he doesn't really need a carry strap and he wishes that it was removable. That's a really good point, and I think it's something that I would consider changing in this if there was to be a future iteration, is to make these clippable so that if you don't want to use the carry strap, you could remove it entirely. It's not a huge issue for me, but I do see the point. Overall, it looks really nice. I have it completely loaded out with a full lunch, my water bottle, stuff in every pocket, and it still fits everything, and it still has some extra room at the top if I wanted to add even more. So I do think this is a really great lunch bag, and it has a nice flat bottom on it that's very padded, so it protects your stuff inside. It's very durable. You don't have to worry about placing it down on the ground or anything. And then it stands on its own even when it's fully loaded out. So let's see how it looks when it's loaded into this Bellroy Light Ready Pack, one of my favorite little packable backpacks that's been in the 11 for a little while now. So if I open that up, let's see if I can fit this guy inside. It's a little bit chunky for a bag this size, so it is going to kind of maximize what you can carry in here. So yeah, I think you would need a little bit bigger of a backpack if you were going to carry a lunch bag of this size. It doesn't really fit in horizontally, and I wouldn't really want to put it vertically, but it's just something to note. You should use probably like a 20-liter or larger backpack if you're going to bring this guy fully loaded out. It's not really fitting too well into the Bellroy Light Ready Pack. So let's go over how I have it loaded out. So if I undo this little hook at the top, you can see that ladder system on the front, so when it's not loaded out, I'll show you how you can kind of cinch it down. It stands pretty tall. It's like a big bucket compartment. If we look on the outside in this water bottle pocket, it's not very stretchy, but it could fit a decent sized water bottle. It's a little bit shallow, so you'll have to be careful that it doesn't like fall out or anything. But I just have my Evervessel multi 17-ounce water bottle in there. Fits beautifully. On the back side, if we talk about the zipper compartment, has a nice zipper on it. It's actually a PU coated compartment, so you can put like your cell phone, wallet, keys, and not worry about them getting any water damage. In there, I've just got some extra napkins in case you make a mess. I have some gum, just for some after lunch freshness, as well as some breath mints for the same reason. It's a really nice lined pocket. Feels very weatherproof, so you could put like wet stuff back here, any kind of like dirty silverware that you used, or like I said, your cell phone, wallet, keys. It's nice to have this little extra compartment here. Then you can see it's a large dump pocket on the inside. So in there, I've got some dried edamame snacks. I have a really large ice pack. Have a little thermos full of soup. Have a little lunch container that's just this little plastic bento box. And I have a can of cherry float zero sugar soda. All that fits in there beautifully. And then you have this little compartment on the back that is just like a little slip pocket that kind of elastic's closed, and you can put your silverware in there. As well as a little lower pocket as well. It's probably hard to see on camera because this is a dark black bag on the inside. But there's a little slide pocket at the bottom that's mesh, and then a more protected slide pocket at the top. That's like that more nylon polyester material. So you have a little bit of internal organization as well. And in there, I just have my Roxxon Tools little portable set of utensils. So they're metal, they fold away, they're magnetized together. There's a spoon, a fork, and a decent little knife. So overall, this fits a ton of stuff. And then if you want to cinch it down all the way, if you have nothing inside, you can use this bottommost loop. And then this is how small it gets. Still have the non-detachable carry strap to worry about, but other than that, it gets pretty small. And then if you wanted to kind of mash this down, it becomes rather packable. So if you just wanted to use this on a personal item only journey as like a little packable cooler, you could easily just throw it into a backpack like this, and it fits really well. Then we can talk about the smaller one and see what we can fit inside. This one just has some grab handles on the top. It doesn't have a shoulder carry strap. It's more of like a tote carry. It's in that bright orange color. There's two slip pockets on the front. They're not intended solely for water bottle carry, but you could fit a water bottle in there and it would work just fine. So you can double it as that. Or you could just put stuff like, you know, the extra napkins. So let's do that. I'll put the stuff I had externally on the other bag. So I have the napkins, the little breath mints, and gum. And then in the other one, I'll put the water bottle just to show you what that looks like. And then you have a PU coated zipper on top. Keeps everything secure in there. And you also have a little utensil sleeve in here. It's just like a little slide pocket with that recycled polyester and nylon blend, just like the other one. So I can go ahead and take these Roxxon Tools utensils and throw them in there. And then I just want to see how much of this material I can fit inside. I want to see if I can fit... Yeah, I could fit the ice pack, but then there's not really room for anything else, so I'd have to use like a smaller ice pack if I was going to use one in here. As far as the bento box, can I zip this still? It would be difficult to fit this bento box in there even. Could probably fit the can of soda and the edamame. And still zip it closed. But none of these other bulkier things like the bento box, the thermos, or this larger ice pack will fit inside and still allow you to zip it. So this is more of a minimal carry as far as like your lunchbox goes. So I could fit some of the stuff, but like the bulk of my lunch wouldn't really fit in here if I was bringing that larger lunch setup. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's a little bit smaller on the inside. This is way more of a minimal carry. If you had like a sandwich bag, maybe a drink, a couple napkins, and some silverware, you could fit it in there. But anything larger or larger ice packs, you would definitely have some trouble fitting in. So I think for my everyday carry, I'd probably go with the larger one just for the versatility. But where I think this one fits in, and I think it's very nice, is if you don't usually carry a big lunch or you carry sandwiches or like slimmer things that would fit in here. You have a slimmer ice pack. you're not necessarily carrying a drink. There is ways to use this as a lunch bag, but I also think its usefulness is as a little packable cooler when you're traveling because it gets so much flatter than this one as far as when you're packing it for a trip. So like this one, if I threw it inside the Bellroy Light Ready Pack, it's super packable. It sits very flat, almost like a pair of sandals or something, or a book at the back of the bag. It would be so easy to still fit packing cubes and pouches on top of this. So if you wanted to go on like a beach trip and you just wanted to have a little small packable cooler with you, this would work absolutely beautifully. And you could fill it with some ice and a couple drinks, maybe a snack, and it would be great for that. So I think this is a great packable cooler option that fits very flat, but it's a little bit too small to use as my everyday lunch bag. I'd probably go with the bigger one for that. I still think these are both really nice little lunch bags, and they both have their usefulness depending on what you're carrying. Then I also picked up this little Orbitkey sunglasses pouch, and this thing has another nice little metal attachment point from Orbitkey. This one's like a little carabiner, so it allows you to kind of clip this to the outside of a bag. You have this little external pocket, and they actually include a little microfiber cloth that's Orbitkey branded, or you could put smaller things in there if you had like contact lenses or maybe your earbuds or something. You could use it as a little pouch. And then there's a little kind of origami rigid closure at the top here that you just kind of pinch down. And then you can get your sunglasses out. Plenty of room for one pair of sunglasses. And it has that little microfiber inside, so it keeps the stuff very safe and it doesn't allow it to get scratched. And it's rigid enough where it provides some protection. Not as much as like a hard case, but enough in most situations where you're not like slamming your sunglasses down on the ground. So I do think this is a really nice little pouch. And then if you wanted to clip it to one of these bags, you could easily just throw it over on the carabiner and have it clipped easily to the outside of your bag. So that's a nice little feature if you want to carry it externally on a backpack or personal item travel backpack, some kind of duffel or sling. You could kind of dangle it off the front or the side. So I think that's a nice use case. For me though, I typically go with the Bellroy Laneway sunglasses pouch just because it's big enough to carry 2 pairs of glasses. And because I need distance glasses as well as reading glasses, I bring my transition distance glasses, so I have sunglasses and distance glasses as well as my reading glasses for reading stuff up close. And I'm covered in both, carried in one little padded sack. So I think the Laneway fits my travel style a bit better, but this one's still great if I only need to bring 1 pair of glasses or if I'm just going out for the day. It's a nice little option to have to carry your sunglasses. So overall, all 3 of these products are really nice, high quality Orbitkey products, just like they always are providing. I think the bigger lunch bag will get more use out of me, but for travel, I'll probably end up using the smaller one as just like a packable cooler. It'd be really nice for beach trips if I just want to bring a couple sodas with me, bring a water bottle and keep it cold. I can throw some ice in here, throw whatever on top. It's very flat and packable for a personal item backpack. As far as the little sunglasses pouch, I will get usefulness out of this when I just need to bring 1 pair of glasses, and I do think it's a very nice little pouch in and of itself, so can't go wrong with this. Orbitkey makes excellent products, and all of these are no different. So what about you? How do you carry your lunch? Which lunch bag would you prefer? What size would you need to carry what you need? And what do you think of this little sunglasses pouch? Leave a comment below and let me know. Thank you as always for liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and watching these videos in general. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome going on this gear journey with you and exploring all these products and talking about how they work for me, maybe helping you discover how they might work for you. It's been a fun ride so far, and with all that being said, I will definitely see you in the next video. Take care.